I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
What's up, truthers? Lee Harvey Oswald declares, I'm just a patsy. Okay, he knew way too much. He knew that he was set up. He knew he was framed. And powers that be don't want people to know that he was a patsy. They want you to believe that he was the lone gunman. He was the shooter. He was the one that did it all. They don't want to rewrite history. And I will explain my point in this video, but just check this little video, 46-second clip out.
I'd like some legal representation. These police officers have not allowed me to have any. I don't know what this is all about. Kill the president? No, sir, I didn't. People keep asking me that. Sir? Shoot the president? I work in that building. Were you in the building at the time? Naturally, if I work in that building, yes, sir. Back up, man. Did you shoot the president? No, they're taking me in because of the fact that I lived in the Soviet Union. I'm just a patsy.
I'm just a patsy. And that's what he was. He was just a patsy. But the thing is, if you know too much, if you know more than you should, they assassinate you, they kill you, you wind up dead. Mysterious deaths happen all the time. And here's one of the newest ones. International War and Peace journalist found hanged in airport bathroom. Friends allege murder. See, the deal is because she knew too much. She was on the front lines of exposing a lot of this bullshit war and propaganda. So they killed her. And they're going to state that it was probably ISIS, it was terrorist, and that's just, they're going to leave it with that. You're not going to hear much more. That's how they keep a lot of this information on the down low. They just feed you bullshit, and people just don't question stuff. They expect you to believe what they say. And I already talked about some of the strange deaths in some of my previous videos, and here's one: the strange death of Dr. David Graham. I just covered him in a recent video a few days ago. He was a 9/11 whistleblower who found up dead. He was poisoned to death. He knew about some hijackers a year before 9/11, and he was trying to explain that to the FBI and to the government, but they didn't want to hear it. He wound up dead. Whistleblowers' death connected to 9/11. Okay, Barry Jennings. We all know about him if you've been following this type of information. Key witness to World Trade Center 7 explosions. And the list goes on and on and on. Especially 9/11 whistleblowers. But dead scientist, a microbiologist. The list goes on. And look at, most of these are younger people. Dying way before their time. It happens all the time. But people don't want to, they don't want to connect the dots, and they think it's just all a coincidence. No, it's not a coincidence. It's what they call a conspiracy. But the thing is, people, they laugh and they joke at the term conspiracy. And here's another one. But this is an older video. But this is how they throw it out there. And they just kind of throw it in the news, and they just kind of pass it on, and nobody questions anything. Check out this little clip.
A researcher dies after being exposed to a strain of bacteria that causes plague. And tonight, Malcolm Casadaband's family wants answers. The Chicago Department of Public Health says there's no sign anyone else has been exposed to the bacteria.
ABC 7's Kevin Roy talked to the professor's family and joins us now with their story. Kevin.
Linda and Ron, the tragic irony here is that Professor Malcolm Casadaband had been trying to develop a vaccine so that thousands of people around the world wouldn't die a painful, ugly death from a bacterial infection related to the plague. But it was that bacterium that appears to have killed him.
We really thought he was so strong. We didn't see this coming at all.
Not only did they not see it coming, but sisters Lee and Brooke Casadebans say their father never knew what killed him.
It was just so much of a shock. Even the time that he was in the ER, from the moment he got accepted to the time he passed away, we had no idea. We didn't even get to say goodbye to him.
60-year-old Malcolm Casadeban was a professor of molecular genetics at the University of Chicago for 30 years. For the past 8 years, his daughters say he'd been working with a strain of bacteria called Yersinia pestis, trying to develop a stronger vaccine for the plague, once the world's worst health scourge. The weakened strain he was using, however, isn't supposed to make healthy people sick. And that is the big mystery now for investigators with the Centers for Disease Control and the state and city public health departments.
Was it a change in the organism? Was there something about the person who was affected that made him uniquely susceptible? We don't really know the answers to that yet.
It was hurtful just because we remember our father was very healthy.
Brooke and Lee Casadeban say they're not satisfied with the answers they've been given so far. How did their father, who had flu-like symptoms, enter the hospital a week ago Sunday morning and die 12 hours later with no one suspecting that it could be related to the plague? Lee is following in her father's footsteps, now attending MIT, his alma mater, and says it may be up to her to solve this.
I plan to go to the lab to read his papers and to read his notes, and I plan to go and just try to really understand exactly what he was trying to do.
Lee and Brooks say they've been told that their father is the first person in the Chicago area to die from this bacterium, an infection that is usually cured.
It's all bullshit, people. They want you to believe that he accidentally killed himself with a bacteria that he was trying to create a vaccine for. Yes, he was probably injected, assassinated by that bacteria. But people don't want to believe that there is truly a conspiracy going on with whistleblowers, dead scientists, and the list goes on. We need to start looking at this more into detail and quit being closed-minded to this. But if you're listening to this video, you're probably not closed-minded, and you probably already know that this bullshit is already going on behind the scenes. And here's a list of whistleblowers. Here's just a few of them. And another whistleblower. You probably know about Michael Hastings. And he was killed hours before talking to a lawyer. And here's more. Whistleblowers being silenced. They usually get silenced by death. They get assassinated. If you know too much, if you speak out, they will kill you, and that's pretty much it. Just go about your day. Don't question none of this. The media doesn't want you to question any of it. The government doesn't want you to question any of it because they want to write their own history and their own books, and they want you to just be a sheep and go along with the herd. If you do that, you are a good citizen. Be a good citizen. Obey, pay your taxes, go to work, and just shut up, or we will assassinate you. And just let me know what you think in the comments below. I could keep on with this video. This kind of information just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper. I just want to try to keep this video sweet, short, and to the point. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Until next time, you keep truthing, and have a good one.